This episode of the Demonic Compendium contains spoilers for the following games. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to a chromatic new episode of the Demonic Compendium, the show where I discuss the mythology, design, and game history of your favorite Megami Tensei demons. The winter months are dying down, the seasons are changing, the sun is coming out, and if you're lucky, you may just see a rainbow. But where do those rainbows come from? Well, I'll tell ya, because today, we're talking about Yurlungur. Yurlungur is a creator god in Aboriginal mythology, and stories of the rainbow snake, or rainbow serpent, are some of the oldest tales in human religion. Maybe because Yurlungur is a snake, but it's weird we don't often think of this deity when we think of creators. The rainbow serpent was said to be made out of copper, came to Earth on a shooting star, and once it arrived, brought water to our planet and gave us the seasons. It's believed that if you look down into a well and see a rainbow on the water's surface, that Yurlungur is there. And anytime you see a rainbow, it's the snake diving from one body of water to the next. Aside from being a creator, Yurlungur is seen as a weather deity, a god of fertility, and when properly angered, a potential destroyer. One of the most famous stories of the Yurlungur involves the two Wawalog sisters. Now, there are several interpretations of this story, some are long, some are short, and the details may vary. But the general idea is that these two sisters set up camp near a watering hole known as Mirirmina, that, unbeknownst to them, houses the rainbow serpent. While the sisters sleep, the scent of the younger one's menstrual blood attracts the snake that ends up swallowing them whole. After being bitten by an ant, the snake spits them up in surprise and proceeds to swallow them again. Yurlungur attends a friendly meeting of snakes who just meet up periodically, I guess, and after telling them what it has done, proceeds to vomit them up again. The Yurlungur vomiting up the Wawalog sisters after eating them is used to symbolize a boy becoming a man in Aboriginal culture. Now, like I said, there are several variations of this story, and I'd be here all day if I tried to cover them all. You don't become one of the oldest religious stories in history without having a few different renditions. In fact, the rainbow serpent itself is not just simply Yurlungur, as it goes by several different names from several different regions and tribes in Aboriginal myth. Rather than butchering a bunch of names in a row, here are just a small handful of other names the rainbow serpent is known by. To this day, Yurlungur is a well-known symbol in Australian culture, appearing as a way to teach children about colors, to being the inspiration for artwork, to even being an icon for LGBT+ causes, or symbolize environmental protests. Throughout history, and even into modern ages, the rainbow serpent has given much of itself to humanity. Yurlungur's Compendium entry from Persona 5 refers to it as a snake with a rainbow body from Merngin lore. He is a fertility deity who controls the weather and resides in a holy pond filled with rainbow-colored water. Interestingly enough, Merngin isn't really the common term anymore when referring to this area of folklore, and I am curious if Atlas will ever update that. Design-wise, the rainbow snake is a snake. That's all the colors of the rainbow. But, of course, there's more to it than that. Kaneko did a great job conveying Yurlungur's copper design by giving it these intricate engravings rather than scales, and it immediately sells the idea that this deity isn't made from organic material. Like certain other mythological snakes, such as the Ouroboros, Yurlungur can be seen as a being of eternity, and the pose it adopts in its 3D model bears resemblance to the infinity symbol. Something I like about the choice of color is that from left to right, Yurlungur starts at violet and ends at indigo, rather than the more standard Roy G. Biv that we're familiar with. I think this does a great job capturing the idea of looping colors, which Kaneko also gave us by making the Yurlungur a two-headed being, so we can't even tell which end is the head and which end is the tail. Yurlungur has had a few other designs in Shin Megami Tensei and such, but usually they're just palette swaps that don't really capture the essence of what the rainbow serpent is supposed to be about. The only other noteworthy design comes from the Devil Children or Demikid series, but except for a sort of loopish design, there's not really much that screams rainbow serpent here. The metallic choker around its neck may be in reference to the snake being made out of copper, and the Demikid's Compendium does mention that when it flies, it leaves a rainbow trail behind it, but there just isn't much to this design. I do want to mention though that in this series, it's named Kaleidos, like a kaleidoscope. So that's like, that's cool. Look at the pretty colors! And now my eyes hurt. As far as game history goes, Yurlungur has definitely been around for much of the franchise, but honestly, the amount of major roles it's had have been pretty limited, typically just appearing as a relatively strong demon or persona without much purpose behind it. Yurlungur does have a small role in Shin Megami Tensei 4 in the Challenge Quest Hunter Tournament Finals, where prisoner Yokota uses the Rainbow Serpent on his team. Yurlungur has had a few small roles in the Persona series as well. In Persona 3, completing the Temperate Social Link with Andre Bebe would unlock Byakko, but in Fess and Portable, the ultimate persona of the Temperance Arcana was changed to Yurlungur, allowing players to unlock it for fusion upon completing the link. In Persona 5, sending Yurlungur to the electric chair with a model gun results in a unique gun for Makoto known as the Mirirmina. That's right, the same watering hole from the story. Although, like many parts of today's demon, it goes by several different names, but in Persona 5, it's just this one. Yurlungur also appears in D2 Shin Megami Tensei Liberation in A Heaven with Demons, the 4th episode of the intermission chapter. This is the chapter that fleshes out the summoning character Arisa, who thinks she may have finally discovered the right spell to bring her parents back through the summoning portal. The Liberators agree to help her, but when the ritual starts to fail, several demons are summoned, including a boss battle against the Rainbow Serpent. And so there you have it, Yurlungur, the chromatic copper coil capable of color carnage and carnivorous chowdowns. Did I leave out something you thought was important? Was I just plain wrong about something? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to let me know who you'd like to see me talk about in future episodes. That's going to do it for this episode of the Demonic Compendium, and I'll see you next time. But be careful while you rest that a demon doesn't take over your body.